Don't do it. What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome to episode 72 of Shades of Blue. We are the most comprehensive Manchester City podcast covering both the men's and women's game, spanning from the Atlantic Ocean to the Rocky Mountains. We making art over here, capitalize the A. But before we get into anything at all, oh my goodness, big news, exciting things happening. For people watching, you're just like, who is this person here? People who are listening, you will soon find out what I'm talking about. We have added a new member to Shades of Blue. There is a fifth member again. So this guy, super hard worker, just side part. We might have stole him from another podcast. That may have happened. I may have done that. I don't apologize. He's fantastic. It was a hard-working show. He is naturally a City fan, a shade of blue.
Crunk is lying. We paid the transfer fee. We
I was gonna say, is there?
I wanted people. Hey, I didn't want them pocket watching.
I mean, is there any kind of a tampering rule that I'm missing somewhere? We can tamper as much as we want to. Look, man, we had Pep on the phone with him. Like, come on, you can't say no to Crunk.
And so. Let's just get into it. The homie Lando, he was on last week, 2 weeks ago, on the Lit stream. That was almost, let's just say, an interview, and he smashed it. Talked to the family. They were just like, bring him in. He's the homie, and now he's here, and he's your homie. Shady Gang, please give it up for Lando.
Thank you. I'm appreciative. What a welcoming. What an official welcoming. I mean, guys, look, there's a lot of speculation that was just thrown out in the last about 3 minutes. Okay. A lot of words have been exchanged, and it's fair for me to comment on it now that we're officially, done. Paperwork is signed.
You got that $100 million contract around your neck.
I'm extended. Well, if that's the case, I'd like to know what the agent fees are nowadays. I'd like to know what the three of you ended up getting in agent fees to get this done with Crunk doing all the work on the background.
We ain't talking about that stuff right now. Right now, we're talking about you and you getting here. You signed a nice long Chelsea level 8-year extension.
Those who called them death row contracts?
Wait, I was just sitting here. I was getting ready to pull up the Suge Knight audio. If you don't want your producer all up in the video, come on over here to Shades of Blue.
Oh my gosh, man, what a welcoming. And I'm stoked. I mean, look, you guys know, first off, I've been a long time fan of what you guys have been doing from a standpoint of bringing that American spice, that American culture into some of the beauty that we love and the sport that we love. And we all happen to be great City fans, and talking about our club, talking about, all the extent of the game of soccer. And the world of sport too, right? Because I'm sure we're going to be talking about some other things that kind of come up. It's dope. It's dope to get a chance to join you guys. It's dope to get a chance to kind of do this and kind of, get ingrained as much as possible. I mean, from everything. I've been a huge fan from what you guys do. I laugh all the time. The death row contracts back when you guys talked about it had me sick. Oh man. So yeah, I'm here. I'm happy. I'm ready to get it cracking. So yeah. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yes. And I'm also here with the family. Tarek, Tom Bomb, how are y'all doing?
What up? Chilling, man.
I am doing great. I got taken out on a date this weekend, so I can't complain about nothing for real. So,
and I'm happy you mentioned that on here, because I was going to be messy and bring it up. So you did it of your own bidding. So I appreciate that.
We did.
We did. So it went well. Yeah, isn't it? I was trying to message him on official business and be like, hey, this is something I'm. Let's get on this, and he's just like, Yeah, but like later I'm on a date and I was like, it's midday, sir. Like, what are you doing?
So sometimes you go on a date in multiple parts, and that was just happened to be part one of
Okay,
part three
okay,
of three
let's
parts
go.
of the date. So yeah,
Oh man,
so
we out
it was
here.
nice. It was nice.
Okay.
It was nice.
Yes, yeah, good times, good times. Well, what I need you to do right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for us. Show us some love. Leave a comment on what you thought of the episode. Maybe retort to something one of us said. Hey, let's say if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, any of those podcast streaming services that allows you to rate, give us that 5 star. Or what's the point? And if you can review, that would help us even more. I do see the reviews going up. I'm seeing it. So I appreciate you guys. Like you're putting in the work. I'm ever so thankful for you for that. We have a new uh, review though, so got to read it out. Shout out to Redbirds42. They said it is a must listen for City fans. Like the title says, this pod is a must listen for City fans. Join Crunk, Sharpie Charlie, Tom, and Tarek for insightful and fun episodes that discuss the City men and women's clubs and more. Always a good time. The chemistry is off the charts, and I can't wait for the next one. Keep it up, Shady Gang. They know the vibes. Appreciate you,
If that's
Redbirds
who I
42.
think it is, Redbirds, I'm pretty sure that that's our good friend Brad, and we appreciate you, Brad,
Yes.
with the Redbirds and the 42. Yeah, like we appreciate
I
you. Thank
hope
you so
you're right.
much.
Since you given that to who
I
we
just said
think
his
is
first
Brad.
name.
Oh, okay. I hope it's
I
Brad.
just said his first name. I just said,
Yes.
yeah. I hope
Even
it's
if it's
Brad.
not Brad, we still thank you.
Yes.
Even
Either
we
way.
still thank you, Redbirds
Yes.
42. We still appreciate you.
Yes. So yeah, keep it up. People put those reviews in. I love them. It makes my heart very warm, and you never really know what you're doing in these shows and how good it is and what listeners think. You see people are listening. Oh, I mean, I don't know. So tell us. Tom Bomb, what are those baby blue baddies doing to him?
Well, they're just out here advancing in competitions, setting league records in matches, just uh, give appearing in milestone appearances for their club. Just so much happening this week, especially with 2 matches. So we really want to get into it right away. So first, we're going to get into the Conti Cup match on Wednesday against Everton. This match was a little bit different from the other matches that we've seen them play so far. Please remember that this match, Layla Wahhabi still on her red card suspension. Alex Greenwood was still on her suspension. Lauren Hemp was still on her suspension. So there was a lot of players that were not available for selection in this squad. But Gareth picked the squad as such. Sandy McKeever between the sticks. Julia Blackstad, Esme Morgan, Steph Houghton, and Kirsten Kasperai were the 4 defenders. In the midfield, you had Ruby Mace getting her first start for City this season, Laura Coombs getting her first start, Dana Castellanos also starting. And then up top, you had Mary Fowler, Jess Park, who you had a good feeling that she was going to start in the cup match, and then Bunny getting her minutes starting as well. So this match started off pretty much the way that you think that most City matches would start off. Lots of City possession, a couple of chances on net, nothing really truly bothering Brosnan right away. However, like in the 20th minute, you did see, and you know me, I love me a great key pass, and the key pass on this one was that Kirsten Kasperai long ball in the right channel to Bunny Shaw that she ran in on and just had that nice little footwork, razzle dazzle. He didn't have a prayer on it, just had her in the spin cycle. I think that if you asked Bunny now, she would probably say, "Oh yes, that was definitely a cross. This was definitely a cross to the far post of the goal." It kind of looked like a shot to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like you might like in an honest moment get Bunny to say, "Oh yeah, I was shooting on net." However,
it's funny
luckily,
because I really thought I was like, man, that is a really nice cross.
I swore it was shot. Anyway, it goes into the back of the net because Jess Park is at the back post, taps it in very, very easily. City up 1-0. Jess Park, as you will remember, was on loan at Everton last season. So even though this was her first City goal in quite some time, she was very subdued in her celebration. Handled it like a professional, for certain.
Mm-hmm.
You see more of the same for the rest of the first half of the match. I believe that Sandy McKeever had one save in the first half and one save in the second. But really just City possession, City creating chances. And then right out the gate at halftime, you have Mary Fowler, who is really, really came back from the World Cup a different player, more dynamic to me. And you see her starting out on the wings, and she was out on the right wing, fed the ball into Bunny. Bunny made a nice little turn, and she's not going to miss from there at the top of the penalty spot. So that makes it 2-0. Again, like I said, Sandy McKeever made at least one save in the second half. I know, Tarek, this is always your biggest point when former players, when we have to face them again. Tony Duggan did come on in the second half, and in the third minute of 6 minutes of stoppage time, she did find a goal for Everton, which it was a little bit deflating, but you also knew that Everton took 93 minutes to score that goal, and they weren't going to find another one in 3 minutes. You would have had to pay another 93 minutes for them to score another goal, and probably we would have scored 4 more. So that left us with a 2-1 advantage in that particular match, which puts us at the top of our group in the Conti Cup qualifications. I believe that we're in the northern group, and that the top 2 teams of each group qualify to the knockout rounds of that particular tournament. So we're looking good there. I believe that everybody was singing Jess Park's praises. Another nice thing about this particular match is that you actually did see all 5 subs used, which is a trend that happened to continue over the weekend when we played Bristol. As you know, we have a huge history against Bristol in that we beat them a lot, and we beat them soundly.
Well, wait a second. This
It is what it is.
So to start this particular match, we have City's number 1 goalkeeper at 19 in Kiera Keating. Ellie Roback hasn't seen any starting time. She wasn't even one of the 5 subs that was used. So it looks like.
And
we just gonna call it what it is. If it looked like a duck, it quack like a duck, it's a duck. She's playing all these matches at this point. She got to be the number 1.
And again, on Instagram, everybody was posting about the match, and she was posting fit pics. She wasn't even posting I'm watching the match or supporting the team. It was, look how adorable I am. And I mean, she's adorable, but it was just I'm scrolling, I'm seeing all the players and their matches and stuff like that, and you just see that. So that is jarring in itself. So it's it really does feel like she's gone, because you would think that she would at least be posting the team if she has. I don't know, and obviously I'm reading too much into it, but it's weird. Lando, what were you about to say?
No, I agree. All of you are stating absolute facts. I mean, at this point, you got to go with Keating. We're moving forward. I mean, it is what it is at this point, right?
Yeah. And she's earning her title at this point as the number 1. So I
locking it down.
Yeah. Backline, you have Esme Morgan, Alana Kennedy, Alex Greenwood, Laya Alexandri, who sneaky shout for first 3-match MVP of the league season for City. And it's always and we'll get into that a little bit more. In the midfield, you had Yui Hasegawa, Philippa Engeldahl, Jill Roord. This match, you saw Bunny Shaw start up top. Chloe Kelly on the left, Mary Fowler again on the right. And we get into it right away. We don't waste much time. Now, I will say that if the WSL had goal line technology, that Bunny did get a hat trick, and Jill just scored one, because I think that first one actually did go in, and it was all the way over the line, but it kind of did some weird pinging around the posts, and then at that point, Jill Roord just knotted it down, made it 1-0 for City pretty early, and after that, there was 20 minutes where Bristol were super duper compact. They didn't really let anything happen in the final third, and part of that was that City had kind of set up rather narrow in the final third, which is a little bit disappointing for me to see. But eventually, Jill Roord in the 32nd minute gets taken down right outside the box, and setting up a set piece. Alex Green, and of course, since it's on the left side, Alex Green was going to take that on that in swinger. And we want to congratulate Laya Alexandri on her first City goal ever in any competition. She gets the glancing header down right past Brosnan. No, that's not their keeper. Who's their keeper? McKersey, that's their keeper. Marchese, and she didn't have a prayer. City up 2-0, and that just kind of opened up the floodgates at that point. Bunny Shaw scored another headed goal after I believe that was assisted by Mary Fowler, who put it up, and she just dunked it down. And then in stoppage time, Jill Roord gets a second headed goal off of another set piece. And then Bunny gets another assist. Mary Fowler assists for another headed goal. So right there, we're up 5-0. So at this point, the second half, I'm just Crunk. I'm rooting for you. I'm like
please. It was so easy. It was right there. It was
right there. And even at the last play of the game, Bunny's last action of the match, it was right there. Right on the doorstep, and Marchese was able to parry it away, and it was very, very disappointing. But it is great because these are the matches last season where we weren't necessarily the other top 4 teams were putting that spanking on those bottom 2 teams to get their goal difference up. And as a team that lost out on Champions League because of goal difference, this is what you want to see. You want to see these big score lines against these lower table teams, these teams that are newly promoted. So that win, as well as that 5-goal spot that we put up on them, that puts City at first in the table. Do you want to know who's not in one of those top 3 spots? Arsenal. You want to know who else is not in one of those top 3 spots? United. So... yes, City, and there were a lot of there are a lot of WSL results that did break City's way. There were some that did not break City's way. I see that we're going to pull up enough time until Arsenal can win the match stoppage time. Numbers are still, a thing in both the men and the women. Although that being stated, Aston Villa, Carla Ward, I'm gonna put some of that on you, because if you're gonna just kind of try and kill off the match, and you don't have any, you have all of this attacking talent on the bench in Alicia Lehman and Adriana Leon, and you're not gonna bring them on. That's on you.
Yeah,
you got to bring them on.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, so that was a little bit disappointing. I guess if we had a little WSL shock, awe, and applause, I guess that would kind of be my shock, awe, and applause, is that Aston Villa has 3 points out of 3 matches, which I think that everybody was saying that they would be a top 3 side.
And mine would be Leicester City doing their thing and drawing against Chelsea.
Yeah, that
they made it tough, and Chelsea had to score late to save face. Or hold on, who was it?
United.
Liverpool. United. Sorry.
Leicester,
Yes, United. Sorry.
yeah, Leicester. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah,
at
it's United. Yep.
and that was
Chelsea
at
won.
Lehigh, so that was at their Chelsea did win against West Ham on Saturday. And actually another surprising result would have to be Everton, based off of their form and based off of Liverpool's form. Everton went to and they played this match at Anfield, which thank you, more WSL teams. Please play these derby matches in the bigger stadiums. They deserve that. But yeah, they went into Anfield and nicked a point right off of, or nicked all 3 points off of their rivals in Liverpool, who had been top of the table and went to the Emirates and beat Arsenal. So that was a really big result for them. Good for them. The WSL table is looking really wild right now. Like I said, we got City at the top of the table on goal difference, 7 points. That's another thing. Nobody has won all 3 matches in the league. So all the first place team or the top teams are sitting on 7 points, with goal difference being the separator as far as between Man City, Leicester, and Chelsea. And I believe that Leicester is up because they've scored more goals than Chelsea has. So this means that next weekend's match at the King Power is for first place in the WSL. And I don't think that was necessarily something that, based off of Leicester's previous performances, that was not necessarily something that you would think at the beginning of the season, and where they finished, because they were definitely struggling to stay in the league. But they really are compact. They play really well. It will be interesting to see City try and break them down, because they are going to park that bus in the King Power. So we're definitely going to need to be clinical in the final third and be creative and find those little pockets of space and exploit them as best we can. But right now, as a City Women fan, like, you got to love everything that they're doing right now.
You said that you were rooting for 6 for Crunk. I wanted it to stay 5 because I haven't hit this button in a long time. I just haven't hit that button in a while. So when I saw that they hit 5, I was like, ooh, I get to hit that button again. Don't score no more. I mean, maybe I could just hit it anyway, and then I would just say keep scoring. But the thing that, again, today was a busy day for me, but looking on the website, and it says that this victory extended our winning run at the Joy Stadium to 21 league games and 27 in all competitions. We talk about the Etihad being a fortress. Good Lord. 21 league games, 27 in all competitions. Sounds like Joy Stadium, a.k.a. the Academy Stadium, is a fortress of its own.
For certain. And also, shout out to the official supporters club of MCWFC. We can always hear you. I heard you at the Everton match, loud and proud. That was amazing, especially for a weeknight. That was amazing. Definitely heard you all today, making lots of noise, supporting the team. I cannot say enough good things about the stuff that you all do, supporting this club, particularly the women's club. Just a couple quick news and notes. This particular match, but the previous record for most goals scored against any one club for any City player was, surprisingly enough, Toni Duggan against Chelsea with 7, with her 2 goals today. Most goals against any one club in Bristol City with 9. Also, we set a WSL record with 5 headed goals, which had never happened in the history of the league before, which is really kind of something mind blowing, and speaks to if you think about who all the goal scorers were, speaks to our physical dominance. I think that we've talked about on the men, and again, I know I say this all the time, the men and the women play the same, and then if you think about it, the player profile is going to end up being the same. We have all of these taller players on the men's side, so that makes set pieces easier. And then if you look on the women's side, like all of our players that scored were 5'9" and up. So Lai Alexandria's tall, Bunny's tall, Jill Roard's tall. So just having that physicality in the box, just really like obviously is something that happens or is a boon for the club. And lastly, shout out to Alex Greenwood, who I think they officially made this her 100th appearance for the club. I think that it was last weekend, but like she got a red card, so you don't really celebrate that.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
We don't count the appearance. We don't count the red card. We don't count nothing.
None of that.
They erased it because they gave her the plaque. They gave her the plaque before the game, before the match.
Yep.
So yeah, you're right.
So she completed 100 passes while still creating 5 different chances, which is the first time in WSL history that anyone has completed 100 successful passes while still creating that many chances. And like, I think Crunk, you were saying it before the show, like just kind of the player profiles, like she was doing things in a way that like made you think that she was John Stones, but yet pinging the ball around like she was Aymeric Laporte. And I was like, yeah, that's completely true. That is what she looked like.
Yeah, it was spot on.
Yeah, so that is so as we talked about, City's next match is the match against Leicester at the King Power. That's for first place, so that's going to be a huge match. And my understanding is that there's been some moving because it is such a big match. It's going to be a little bit later on Saturday, so that's going to be a big TV deal over in the UK. So,
nice.
Yeah, so I believe it's going to be on BBC instead of Sky, if I read that right. But yes, definitely check them out. We're going to be tuned in. The match starts at 10:15, so you know what that means for us. We got a pre-match show, 10:15 Mountain Time, so we'll have an hour pre-match show an hour before that. Make sure that you tune in with us on FanFest Live. Shout out to our good friends at FanFest Live. We love y'all.
Love you. And 2 things about Bunny. The fact that she has that record against Bristol City when they haven't been in the WSL for the last 2 seasons. It's just strictly beating up on them in the Conti Cup and other competitions like that where it's all of the divisions. So she's just seeing them, and every time she sees them, she just happens to score 2 or 3 goals on them. It's insane, and I know that club is every single time they see City on their schedule, they're just deep sigh. It was fun, and the other. Oh, sorry. No, you go.
You know that television personality New York from Flavor of Love when she goes, yes. Not you. That's Bristol City every time they see Betty.
Exactly.
Not you.
And the second is I shared it on X that on Paramount Plus for the WSL, when you click it, there's photos of 3 players. It's Sam Kerr. Oh my God, what's her name on Aston Villa? Why can I not think of her name? Yes, Rachel Daly. And they just have like half. It's just like shoulder up, and then Bunny. It's like more than half of her body. It goes because you see the shorts, and she's just in the center, big, and it's just like I love seeing just Bunny becoming the face of WSL,
particularly again in North America.
Yeah.
Sorry, he just keeps getting kicked off, and I feel bad for him because I don't know what's going on.
So, question that I have, because I haven't been able to pay super close attention so far this season, this early part of the season. Obviously, we brought in Jill Roard, I've gotten that mispronounced it, but we brought her in over the summer. She got 2 goals in this match. She got 1 earlier in the season. Tell me a little bit about Jill Roard and kind of What is her game like? What do we expect from her? Did we expect her to be a goal scorer, or because she's doing this out of midfield, right?
Yeah, she's just a baller.
Yeah, I
think
that the thought was, like, if you looked at the squad last year, like, we were so reliant on Bunny for goals, and even when Hemp and Kelly were scoring goals, we were only getting goals from our front line, and we were only getting goals from those three players. I think the thought was that let's make sure that we're getting goal scorers in the midfield. I think that was when you bring in a player like Dana Castellanos, you're thinking that she is also going to be one of those players that is going to be a goal scorer from the midfield, just because of what she does with her national team. Venezuela, like, she carries Venezuela. She is their offense essentially. But I don't think that we necessarily saw that. And now that Haley Rasso is gone, you see another spot open up on the wing for a player like Mary Fowler to move out onto the wing. So you kind of thought that because she might have been another player that you would have expected to score from the midfield. But Jill Roord kind of gives us that midfield scoring threat that we really haven't had since Caroline Weir, Georgia Stanway were in the midfield for City. So it is nice to see her score goals, but she also can. I believe that one of the few seasons that she was at Wolfsburg, she led the Bundesliga, the Frauen Bundesliga in assists. So, like, it's not that she can't put in a really good fake dummy run onto a through ball that we saw in the first match against West Ham. So I think that the biggest hope for Jill Roord was that, number one, can we score from the midfield, and can we just get more score sheet productivity from the midfield, like in the final third. And I think that she is giving us that, which we are asking for.
Gotcha.
I had no expectations for her, and everyone said she was great. And when she joined, that was when they released the Ballon d'Or nominees, and she was on it. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter what I even look up on her. She's obviously talented. Right. And from the first moment, I was like, oh, yes, let's go. And the header from today, that was when I was like, oh, it's over. And then Mary had that cross with her left in when she was on the right side to Bunny for that header. And actually, was she the other one that for Bunny that got called offside? But it was just her distribution skills is fantastic. She hasn't quite figured out the one-on-one. She's attacking people. She's on the offensive, and that's good. I love seeing the confidence, but what I really love seeing, Mary, is her. They're all just sharing the ball with each other. The ball's flying around. There are multiple passes that I went, oh! Like, people would have thought I was in pain because the noises I was making from just, beautiful.
I think you can definitely see this season that there's a concerted effort to not necessarily to make teams be punished for focusing solely on Bunny. Bunny's going to get hers because that's the type of player that Bunny is. But if you collapse your entire defense onto Bunny, like, we now have more answers to how to cope with that. And I think that's one of the things that's most encouraging, especially if you think about, like, the fact that she wasn't in the opening match against West Ham. She only came on in the Chelsea match after we were down to 10. And that was like more of a, like, we need fresh legs, because maybe Carla Ward should have watched that match and anticipated. I'm very, very mad at Aston Villa. If you could not, like, Aston Villa had one job. They had one job. But yeah, it's you can definitely see that there's more answers than just collapsing on Bunny and making Bunny do all of the goal scoring.
Who do they play this next up? Oh yeah,
They play Leicester.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, you did all this. Sorry. Okay. Anything else, sir?
That is all that I have.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get to the Premier League. While I'm here, I want to say shout out to Sony and Albion Obsessed, a Brighton and Hove Albion podcast. I had Sony on to Breaking Bread. We discussed all things Brighton. She, because of the whole Caicedo nonsense, she has a whole lot of spice for Chelsea. That was real fun. So it was a very fun conversation. We were her first time stepping out of Albion Obsessed also. So that was fun. The episode with Hassan Naeem, it's probably actually already out. So I want to give thanks to him for that. The part that's really exciting is he wants to do this every 4 to 6 weeks. That was him. He wants to do this. That's we talked for a good while before we started recording, and just because he's been around it for so long, he's really just this wise monk. And I'm not saying that because he's Southeast Asian, but it's just in general, he's just so calm and transparent. It was just very refreshing. The episode, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let us know what you think. We'll be back and the whole gang will be together. It will be a more footy focused episode. So don't think it will just always be, footy and philosophy, even though sometimes, those are vibes. And then also coming out soon, I did an episode with Flobo Boyce. He's been on the Lit Stream. I had him on Represent. We did a collaboration where we melded football and wrestling. We did Man City and WWE NXT comps. So Phil Foden is like so-and-so. This person is like this person. Let me see if I still have my notes for it, and maybe I can read one real quick. I honestly don't even remember what I said.
So I don't know much about the wrestling, but I would assume that the Erling Haaland Roman Reigns comparison was made.
I actually, that wasn't it. I used this wrestler named Gunter.
Okay.
Because he's a young phenom who's already has a title and he has a record for that title that stayed for a while, and he's European also. So, and he's this giant. I am Gunter. Everyone hates him, but they love him. And he's just unstoppable. Every single time you think you're about to beat him, he just smacks you in the chest, power slams you, and pins you, and it's over. And then the people are just like, what just happened? And that's very much like Flan. He gets the ball, makes a couple of dribbles, and he shoots the ball past your keeper, and you're like, what just happened? So, there are all kinds of things. Old school football, old school wrestlers, new school wrestlers. Talked about a couple of the baby blue baddies. You know how to bring them into it. It's, I think people who even don't like wrestling, it will be a fun listen for you because of how him and I each correlated players to the wrestlers. We were never on the same page. We were on the same page. It was just I was writing cursive and he was writing Hebrew or some Latin or something like that. I don't know. It was a good time. I guess those are all the admin things before we get into the men. They're back. They're playing football again. We are taking on Big Bad Brighton Seagulls. I was watching the match against Liverpool. I have to watch it again. I was taking notes. I really wasn't paying attention to them. I love the way they play. Lando, let's start with you. How are you feeling about this match coming up this weekend against Brighton? We doing this? Oh no!
No.
I'm so sorry for him. Like, I don't know what's going on.
For those of you listening at home, Lando has had severe internet issues where he's been dropping every 3 to 5 minutes. So it's been difficult trying to keep him on. We definitely want to hear from him. Give him some touches. First match with the squad. We want to give him some touches early. We're struggling to do that, so we'll figure it out soon.
Okay, Tarek, how are you feeling?
I'll jump in.
Yes, please.
So when looking at, I forget exactly what question that you just asked him, but what I'll say is, looking at Brighton in their last few matches, they've not actually been in the best run of form. Right. I mean, they beat Bournemouth, they lost to Chelsea, lost to Villa, drew with Olympique Marseille in Europa League, drew with Liverpool. So that's their last, 5 matches? They have 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 draws. It's like, when you watch a commercial for like a bank or finance stocks or whatever, they say past performance does not guarantee future or whatever. So just because they've had some struggles in the past doesn't mean they're going to struggle with us. But I think, if we can catch them I think they're a tricky matchup for anybody when they're on. So if we can catch them in a down moment, that would be great. It'll be interesting to see, because we have so many of our players playing with their national teams. We're going to have players who are going to come back who aren't going to be fully fit or fully rested. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do against a team that's probably going to have more fully rested players than us, and how we can cope with that. But we know Brighton is a decent team. They're 6th in the table. And so it really just comes down to what we can do against them. Again, they're on 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. And as you can see, I just told you and again, that's within the league. So their form that I called out earlier wasn't just all in the league. It was all competitions. But like I said, I think this is the time to get them before they kind of snap out of this funk that they're in, and De Zerbi gets them playing like a well-oiled machine again. So I am looking forward to it. If you want a score prediction, hold on, let me go back for a second. This match is at the Etihad. We already talked about earlier in reference to the women about the Etihad being a fortress like Joy Stadium. So I am going to give this a City 3, Brighton 1. That's my scoreline prediction.
I like that.
I like that too. For me, I'm not worried about a team that hasn't won a match in a month. Like, they have not won. Like, yes, City has lost their last 2 league matches, but like they've also won all of their European competition matches in between that. So I think that the focus on this particular match is going to be City getting back right. I think one of the biggest things that's going to help that is that I think that you will see John Stones start this match. I think that's going to be
Stones.
I think that's going to be so huge for the team as a whole.
John Stones.
Just his distribution, his defensive solidity, and just like the ability to, number one, let one rip from the top of the box, or just be a tall body in the box on a set piece. I think that's going to be really helpful against a team like against a team like Brighton, who does like to play. They're going to come out and play, and I think that that's going to be the biggest thing that City's going to need to be prepared for, is a team that's going to want to come out and play with them, because most teams do not. So most of the time when teams like to play with us, we punish those teams. So I'm not particularly worried about what Brighton is going to do. I'm more concerned, does City right the ship in the league? I know that, Crunk, you talked about the Pep quote that we're focused on qualifying for Champions League, Champions League knockouts, and we'll deal with the league in January. But like, you never want to drop 3 in a row in the league if you think that you have a chance of winning it. So I like Tarek's 3-1 scoreline, and I like John Stones to come back into the starting lineup.
I would love to believe that players coming back healthy, players coming back in general, excited from the international break. Haaland scored in one of his matches. People are saying that's a good sign. I hope that is. Askabab, he started from Norway. That's a fantastic sign. I want to say we keep it clean sheet. We do it. 2-0. I would love to say 3-0, but that just sounds crazy. 2-0. 2-0 City. Yes. Man, I just want to run it up. And Brighton's a good club to have the potential to run it up. They make a lot of dumb decisions. They're young people. The way that they play, you have a little sauce. You have to play with confidence, without fear, and that means you're going to make mistakes. I hope we can be efficient with those mistakes Brighton gives us.
Yeah, we just got to punish them when they make them, because they will make them. That's been proven throughout their the course of the season so far. It's just a matter if we can punish those mistakes. We have to be clinical, which is something we haven't been recently, I don't think. But if we get back to our clinical best, then it could very easily be really ugly. I might be breaking out that 5. I got 5 on, and Looney's drop again if next week if things go our way.
Yeah. Who starts on the wings? Is this a Jackie Grealish?
I'm gonna say so. We use Jack Grealish for control, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to prevent them breaking at pace, coming at us the other way, which we know if they get coming at us, Matoma he has the potential to be deadly, right? So I think we want to, again, Pep is at times playing defense through offense, through his selections, whatever. So I do think there is a chance that we see Grealish start this match.
Bernardo on the right?
No, I don't think you can do that.
You don't?
I don't think that,
don't think we can, or don't think Pep will?
I don't think that Pep will, because I don't think that there's a need to press their back line. If you bring in Grealish for control and then you put Bernardo on the other side, you've already decided that you're going to play into the chaos by bringing Bernardo on. So because that's because he's going to press the hell out of whoever's on that left-hand side defensively for Brighton. So that that can lead to us making a mistake and us being caught out. Especially if we're going to start Kyle Walker, that means that normally he's going to bomb up the pitch. So you're going to have all of that space to defend behind that. I don't think that this is a match that you start Bernardo, at least not outright. And I am also wondering is this a match where you see Julian Alvarez get a rest because he did have to travel to South America to play in his matches. and then all that travel back. So, like, do we just give him a rest for a little bit, so that way we can get him back on better form, and like that kind of gives you a different dimension off of the bench, and then you see Phil Foden start in the middle, and maybe you see an Oscar Bob start out on the right.
Okay,
but I'm still predicting a John Stones start.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. We just need him to stay healthy. In all honesty, as good as Ruben Diaz has been and all that, to me, I've said this consistently, and I stick by it. When healthy, John Stones is our best center back by far. And then what he allows us to do tactically, he's so flexible that it's ridiculous.
Well, the next part, we have people who have been sending in fantastic questions for Mailbag. I figured now would be a good time. We can just do a couple of questions and we can stop whenever. Easy enough. Question number 1. Favorite style of pizza? And you can take these questions however you want to take them.
I'm just going to come out and be a straight out hater, like right out of the gate. I'm going to flip the question completely and just be like, my least favorite style of pizza is St. Louis style pizza.
I was going to say, can I guess?
Because who wants to put...
That is horrible.
Who wants to put that sauce on a cracker with Provel cheese? Don't even burn. Like, that ain't natural. That's wrong. Like, that is a crime against humanity.
I don't think I've ever had it. I'm trying to figure out.
Be thankful. Be grateful.
Yes, count your blessings.
Be happy.
Because
yes,
it is awful. It is terrible.
Interesting.
Wait a minute. I don't happen to know, where is Lando from? I've forgotten.
I believe he's in New York.
Okay, so he's nowhere near.
It might be, but I think it might be Washington now, though. He moved.
Okay, as long as he's not from St. Louis. And I don't want to offend.
No,
he's new to the squad. I don't want to offend him. Not yet.
It was like I just was like beef right off the bat.
Yeah. But real talk, St. Louis pizza is trash. Straight up
garbage.
Hey, if we're doing this hate thing, I'm gonna jump on this, and I'm gonna keep it going, especially because I'm in Iowa and I got Illinois right here. What?
If you come for Chicago style, we're gonna have a problem. If you come for deep dish,
it's a casserole. It's not a pizza.
It's a pizza, my guy.
It's a casserole.
Go ahead.
That's it. That's all I gotta say about it.
I'm gonna still eat it though.
Oh, I'm gonna have a giant slice of that casserole, but it's not really pizza. Like, it's good. I like everything. I mean, it's crust, meat, and cheese. And I've had all the versions of it. I've been to like Illuminati's and all the places in Chicago. I love them all. It's just the giant cracker, or not the giant. Just the word cracker is in my head, but the giant crust. You have to use a fork to eat it. It's not pizza, bro. You get Italians mad. And also, apparently, that's not even the actual Chicago-style pizza. They say that bar style, the tavern-style pizza is from Chicago. Cut. That's what they're saying now. Yeah, that's what the cool kids are saying now. Tavern-style, the flat pizza is the true Chicago style.
Oh,
I like also, it all, but I'm a deep dish fan. I will tell you, they built Giordano's down basically like 3 minutes from my house. So I am a big fan. I used to have to drive home to my parents all the time. I would drive, 2 hours to visit my parents, but we always got Giordano's on the way home. So now I don't have to do that. My parents don't see me as much. It's a little disappointing. They need to close this down so I can see my parents again. But I'm a big fan of the deep dish, Giordano's particularly. Yeah.
Also, if we're going to talk about weird pizzas, I think that first match that Messi was in MLS and he missed.
Oh yes.
Because he had that Argentinian pizza. Did y'all see
Yes.
that?
I was like, what is this?
And that's what it is. Like in Argentina and other countries where the pizza, the dough's made fresh and the vegetables are sourced locally. No, he ordered that from Domino's, bro. It was just like, Messi, what are you doing?
No, that was like an actual
It was.
Argentinian
Yeah, I didn't think it was
place.
I didn't think it was from Domino's.
It looked like some Domino's.
Quite honestly, Domino's. And I'm not a Domino's fan, but Domino's would have been an improvement on what he had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it was like Domino's or something like that, because it did not look good. It looked like it was like canned to mush. What was it like? It was like mushroom, whatever. It was just looked like it was all canned or pre-made. Like they opened the bag and put it on a pizza.
It did not look delicious.
No,
you all can look it up. It did not look delicious.
You're making way too much to be eating that, my guy.
Who knows? Maybe that was just something that reminded him of home. So I don't know. But it did not. It did not look great. It did not look great. Good Lord. That man has lived in Barcelona and Paris, and that's the pizza that he wants to eat. Wow, that is a statement.
And they got Giordano's in Florida. I mean, he could have got it from Orlando. I don't know if they have one in Miami or not, but I know they have them in Orlando because I've eaten it when we've been at Disney, because I love deep dish pizza. And Crump is wrong. You don't call a hot dog a sandwich, even though technically it is. It's got. Why would you call this a casserole? Because technically, it's. Who cares about technicalities? We keep our technical skills on the pitch. We got Coach Colton for that. We used to have Warriors for that. We don't need no technicalities on the sideline. On here, we want first touch. We go get my man Bernardo. We go get Phil. We don't need technical right now.
It's a casserole, my boy. It's like 5 inches of crust.
He said we leave the technicalities for the pitch. Oh, God. I needed that laugh.
I try, man. I try.
Tarek on season 3. Hey, you're making art over here. Capitalize that.
Right?
I'm just saying, when I get us a Giordano's sponsorship, you can't come on here with no hate.
No, I will renege and say that deep dish pizza is the best pizza out there. And go to Giordano's at blah, 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 blah.
Hold on, I want you to repeat. Deep dish pizza is the best pizza out there. Hold on, let me get the recording set. Go ahead, say it one more time.
He said, mark the clip. He said, mark the clip right now. Mark the clip right now.
I would say that. I would say it, but he's the one that does it. So he's not going to clip his own self. I can't count on that. If you want this done, you got to do it yourself. All right.
Tarek, you're killing me.
So outside of the hate for deep dish, do you have a pizza that you like?
Yeah. Most people I just like, as long as it's normally made fresh, just normal and honestly not fresh. I love a good frozen pizza. I'm not a hater on pizza, and it's not even. I don't even hate pizza. Hate Chicago deep dish pizza. It's just a casserole.
Okay. All right. Let me.
I like the cornmeal crust. I actually love the cornmeal crust. That's fantastic.
That is good. That is really good.
Yeah. Everything about it, I love. I've had it, so much of it. It's just a casserole. You just eat the casing that it's encased in.
Do I need to throw another grenade into this conversation?
Oh, please
do it.
All right. Pineapples on pizza, in or out?
I love it.
I go in.
Yeah, throwing some jalapeno with that, with some ham. Mm-hmm. So you got the sweet, spicy, salty.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All of it. I'm in on it too. I was I know it's a very divisive topic, and I know that this might Not for this panel right now, but I would assume that once the listeners get a hold of this, we're gonna get some heat on this topic.
Deep dish can't agree on pineapple on pizza. All good.
I mean, it's kind of like sugar and grits, but that's another conversation. We're not talking grits. We're talking pizza. So I have been married since 2002, so that makes it 21 years. If I want pineapple on my pizza, which I often do, I have to order it for myself, by myself. The only one that's going to eat it, because the wife refuses to accept the fact that pineapples go on pizza, and the kids won't even consider it. They just won't even consider it. It's like a non-starter. So I go something small, and I'll get it for myself that way.
That's hilarious.
That is really funny.
I mean, that sounds like a good excuse to have your own pizza.
That's true. That too. Like that. Like
I didn't say I complain about it. I just said it's the reality.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean,
we share a lot of stuff, but we don't share.
That on pizza. Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, I can leave this in the fridge for like 3 days, and nobody's gonna touch this. Yes.
Oh, that's cute though.
We had the kids. You like, if you don't like it, just pick it off. Nah, I'm picking it off. They refuse.
That's great.
So we think that Lando, if he were on, he would say New York style pizza.
I would assume so. So I actually will step on another, the traditional like Napoli pizza, where it's just like it's made a very specific way, and I've had it before. That's also not the best either, because it's like chewy dough. It's all good ingredients, but it's just like, it's very plain. It's very boring. It's very traditional. It's rustic, and especially the way that we've been raised on pizza. When you have that stuff, you're just like, I don't know. It just leaves a little to be desired.
Can I ask who asked this question?
Yeah,
I don't know. I honestly just copy pasted all of the questions and just put them on a notes. I didn't think about the names. I probably should have done better about that. Next time, I'll start keeping track of people. Whoever asked the question and you're listening and you go, hey, that's my question, let us know. How about that? If you want to. Next question. How included into the wider Man City family do you feel, being newer foreign fans, by the UK legacy fans, either online or in person? I assume this is an English person asking this.
Anybody want to go?
Okay.
So what I'll say is this. I appreciate whoever asked this question. They're obviously a listener because they submitted a mailbag question. I think in general, reasonable City fans, reasonable ones, have no problem accepting new fans from wherever they might be, including the U.S., including ones that may or may not look like them. But then you have those idiots that are all, the people that get on, a lot of the people who are on Twitter are just trolls for the sake of trolling and whatever. So there's always going to be some of that. But quite honestly, if I could just be completely blunt, and this isn't meant to be any kind of shot or disrespect or whatever, I really don't care, right? Because I'm not a City fan because of those other fans. I appreciate those that, get to go to the match on a regular basis and all that stuff. So I appreciate their fandom and what it looks like for them. All I can do is be the biggest City supporter from my position here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that I can be. And I don't have the same opportunities and privileges and things like that to have them down the street and around the corner. And it's easy to support in some respects. So I would never, say that, I'm a bigger fan or a better fan because I get up at whatever time in the morning to watch. I wouldn't say that. But I don't feel like I have to be, less than either. It doesn't matter to me. We're all City fans. We're all in this together. And the reality is, if we're asking about the show, we know that the show's not for everybody, right? It is, there's going to be some people that just ain't their vibe, and that's okay. But there's going to be a lot of people that do support us, and I just thank for them. So it is what it is, man.
I feel that like I have to channel my inner Jose Mourinho and say I prefer not to speak because if I speak, I will be in very big trouble.
Yeah.
And you would, and that's growth, because to early Tom Bond would have been like, so you know what,
and you know who, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
we're not doing that. It's growth. It's growth.
What I will say is that as the game as a whole has become more globally accessible, teams at the top of major leagues are going to be, you've seen them become global brands. You have seen some fans be more accepting of that. You have seen other fans rebel against that. I would encourage everyone to realize that City is now a global brand, and there are going to be several opportunities for fans that are not from Manchester, that are not from Stockport, that are going to latch onto this club, and the City fan base as a whole should embrace that. What I will also say is that I have had very little pushback against any City women's fans on that topic. Most of them are definitely willing to engage and happy that someone is making content for the women's team. And I'm going to leave it right there and keep it cute.
Yeah, they've been super fun. Yeah, I will say there are the people who are going to the matches and all this stuff that connect with us. I fuck with heavy, and I try to make sure they know how much I appreciate them. Because usually, when there is a random English account who comes at us, some of those people know them. And they can come in and be like, "Hey, yo, person, you need to chill out. Whatever you're saying doesn't make any sense because these people actually are most dope." And it's not something that we need because I normally just block those people, but it's just nice to have people where they can just be like, "No need for you to even get stressed or annoyed by this idiot. I got you." It's just less off our chest. That's nice. Like the official supporter club for Man City Women. They've so great. Uh, they're always supporting us, always retweeting our things. We'll be having them on in the future. I that part has been great, and they've even been very honest with how much they appreciate how we push our baby blue baddies, and so it's very reciprocal. We tell them we appreciate you, they say we appreciate you as well. That's nice. Right? Yeah, like you said, we are doing the show for ourselves. It will be fantastic to connect with those people, but I just want it to be one of those things where it's understood. We shouldn't have to have all of these. Well, do they this? And then do they do this? And how many of this? I don't need all of these like Ricky Williams type of contracts on me where you have all these like crazy expectations and these lofty goals that I have to hit in order for us to be respected. And I understand sometimes you got to earn people's respect, but then listen to our episodes. And if you listen to our episodes and you still feel the way that you feel, then yeah, you're just an ass. I don't know what to tell you. But we are at the point that I don't get much friction from our accounts. It's all love. You can look through our guest list. It's extensive. It's people from city, different leagues, some speaking multiple languages in different countries. UK fans and supporters, that stuff is nice and legitimate. 40, 40. It's split. Half of our listeners are American, the other half are non-Americans. The love is there. So that's why, I don't know, I'm not, usually you guys are more mad at us than we're mad at you guys. We're just trying to live. Like, that's all it is. Yeah. 3, I like this one. Who do you think you'd be good friends with? And then we can actually end it here. Who do you think you'd be good friends with on the current squad?
This is gonna sound quiet. This is gonna sound wild, but like I'm gonna I'm gonna step into my age and appreciate how old I actually am, and I'm gonna say Scott Carson and Steph Houghton would probably be my 2 best friends on the men's and the women's team. Because first of all, Scott Carson we know is there purely for vibes, So obviously he's a good time to hang out with. So there's that. And like we saw him last season when he came over in Houston and like had the whole cowboy get up. Like, so the fact that he's like willing to try stuff like that, like obviously, absolutely, we're gonna do that. And then Steph Houghton again, like as someone who is 40, what am I going to look like hanging out with some 20-some-year-old women?
Lit? So. What you mean? What you mean?
Hey! I'm not about to be Drake up here. No, we're not doing that.
Oh no,
we're not doing that.
That's funny.
We definitely don't want that.
That is funny. But I'm with you because I wrote my answer down exactly very similar. I said, look, I'm an old man, so half of this team is more like my kids than my friend. You know, age ways. I literally could be their dad, right? So probably everybody almost on this team, I could be their dad except for. So I said, you know, so maybe, you know, me, Scott Carson, KDB, Kyle Walker, we could sit around, split a thing of being gay or icy hot. You know, as the old heads in the group, we gotta recover. While everybody else is just like, you know, Jack gonna go to the party, Jack gonna go drink and, you know, be lit. Look, I need some icy hot. Give me some being gay. I gotta recover. That's gonna be me, KDB, Kyle Walker, and Scott Carson, and obviously Tom too. So we all gonna get together and be old together.
Oh man, I say
go ahead, take it another way, like you was going to.
No, because I'm on the same page where I think I could see myself being friends with like a Ake and a Kanji because they're older, but they got the youth, and then they can still go out. They have the fun, but they seem like the fun, reliable friends that I can while out with, and they'll make sure I'm okay. And if anything gets too wild, they are also willing to beat some people down. And that's how I am. I'm all vibes. But if someone wants to take it there, we can take it there. And that's their energy. We could go to a place, it'd be nice and quiet. We'd sip on our nice cocktails. We'd have some fun conversations. And yeah, we just like go home and vibe. But you know, if I wanted to turn up, I'd be like, hey guys, let's go here. And they'd be like, oh, fine. And I'd be out there being lit, and they'd just be sitting there watching, making sure everything's all right. You need friends like
so that. I know, like, Ake, I think, plays the piano, if I remember correctly. And we know Akanji is big on the whole math thing. Is there anybody else that you... Phil likes to go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody else that you would say, oh, I can relate to them because of some other interest that they might have or whatever?
I mean, I used to be able to, other than his age, Cole Palmer, you know, Wagwan and all that. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because I was going to say, I like the idea of Phil, but he's actually a very much just like I love my wife, like Chance the Rapper. He gives me big Chance the Rapper vibes. And I mean that in like a very nice way, where he's just like, I love my wife, I love LA, and this is basically what I do. The trouble you see with Phil Foden, it's his mom getting too lit out and about, or his dad, or cousin, or somebody getting too lit, and he just happens to be there trying to calm everybody down. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Ederson, I would love to, honestly, Ederson. That's my homie. He is the dude that I could truly just like kick it back with. His fam, they appeared. I watched the doc. They eat well, so I'd love to eat some of the good food, the Brazilian food. And he doesn't. I don't think he's a big drinker, and he doesn't do any of that stuff anymore. But he is a good time. He's a very fun personality. So I like people who can also have fun without needing to be tilted at that time too. So yeah.
I'm gonna say Rodri, because he's got old man vibes. He's straight laced, tucked his shirt in.
Golf. You guys could just go golfing together.
Me and Pep could go golfing anytime. Now again,
he's a huge
Pep
golfer.
Good, so
yeah, Pep is good.
I don't know about Rodri, but
I think he's pretty good also.
They're actually probably good at this sport. Me, I just like to hit a ball and chase it and be all over the place. But anyway, but no, yeah. So Rodri's that very straight lace, quiet dude. Outside of him, trying to choke slam dude, we really don't hear too much about Rodri. He's chill. So if anybody, maybe because I'm old, so maybe me and Rodri could kick it, because he's not going to try to have me out too late at night.
I would like to try to party with Jack for one night, like just one night. I think that's all my body would physically be able to handle.
Yes, but Jack. I would need 2 weeks of preparation and 3 weeks of recovery after said one night.
Jack is the equivalent of the fraternity house at the college that gets shut down. That's Jack. You can't. Yeah. You got to shut it down. It's too wild. It's too crazy. I couldn't keep up with Jack.
Once upon a time I could. I don't think I could now. So that's what I'm saying. I could do one night, and I might disappear for a little bit, or sneak and go get food, or say I'm getting a vodka water and it's just water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this was nice. And so yeah, there are a few more on here in general, and then I have a whole bunch more. I will occasionally, Shady Gang, on social media, ask you guys to give us some questions so we can keep this going all throughout the season. I figure every international break we can drop one of these episodes. We can talk about our baby blue baddies, or depending, the women might be on break. We can just talk about the men and do some of these questions. Most of them are evergreenish. I guess, actually, hold on. There's one more question that I feel like is maybe time related. It's number 5. If you were Daku's city advisor, what would be your top 3 advice to make him settle in the team? Listen to Pat.
For maybe the most vain thing that I would tell him to do is get in good with Phil, so Phil can get you in with his barber. That's the
and get you a Cernucci deal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, he don't really need it like Phil, because he got the dreads going, right?
But he got the braids, but he's still lined up though. So like, you want to keep that line up fresh. So yeah, that I think that would be the
that's a good that's a good solid one. Barber is probably number 1 when it comes, especially in a new space.
Yes,
accurate.
Yes, absolutely. As someone who has spent 2 years trying to find one, yes, absolutely.
What is number 2 then? Because that's a solid 1. 2 is get to, I'd assume, the simple things: get to practice early, stay late, practice.
Maybe whatever Cancelo did, don't do. Do the opposite. Something like that. However you want to phrase that. Just ask around. Say, hey, Bernardo Silva. Hey, Ruben Diaz. Tell me for a minute. What did y'all homie do? to get sent away. And then whatever they say, don't do that. But no, I mean, in all honesty, I would just tell him to be himself, because my issue is we go and we buy a player with a certain profile and a certain type of game, right? And then you try to change it all up and become something else. You want to become what you think a City player is supposed to look like. Just go be you, because we need that profile. There's a lot of Jack hate, whatever, and I think that's very much misplaced. But we need somebody who's going to attack and go at players and dribble at them, and be okay doing that, and then, don't put that pressure on yourself to score 1 million goals or whatever, because, that's not necessarily the expectation here. So just be yourself.
Okay, so get cool with Foden and the barber.
Mostly the barber.
Find out what Cancelo did, and do the opposite. 3, be yourself.
Yeah.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah. I think that's solid advice.
I think so.
And if there was a 4, listen to Shades of Blue.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's go. All right. Well, follow us on social media accounts. The app formerly known as Twitter. There's TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube. We're on all those. Links to those teams are in our episode details. You see it. It says Linktree. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, a comment, like the video. If you're listening on a podcasting app, rate, review. 5 stars are what's the point. Please leave a review. It boosts the algorithm. It pushes us in front of more football-centric fans, and we need that. My fantastic co-host, Tom Baum, Tarek. First, Lando. If you want to follow him on social media, he is on Twitter. It is Lando Martini. So it's LandoMartine. Lando Martini. Tom Baum?
If there's a social media app and I use it, my handle is going to be at TomBomb816. I'll leave that up to you to figure out what that is.
Life is so easy when you only have one handle to worry about. If you are on Twitter, which will always and forever be named Twitter, then you can reach me at Tarek Peterson on Twitter. And that is spelled TarikPeterson. Tarek Peterson. And you can find me there.
Hey.
So when they changed the URL, so it says x.com now, somebody said something to the effect of I thought that my homie just started texting porn to the group chat, and my homies never text porn to the group chat. So I'm very confused.
And it's only one X, so it
did they actually change the website now? See, that's what I tell you. I don't even. Hate social media.
It's bad. Oh yeah, no, mine definitely just says Twitter.com. That's hilarious. I'm Crunk Phoenix on Twitter, Instagram, and on Threads, I'm Crunk Chocolate. I'm trying to think of those. Those are the main ones. Everything else, Shades of Blue Pod. We're on those other things. Follow us. I usually do the communication on Twitter, so you'll be able to get a hold of me.
One more thing for Doku. Is it time to replace the gritty? Is the gritty too old now that he's got to find something new?
The squabble.
Can this be number 5 or whatever it is? He needs to find a new celebration to keep it fresh so that it doesn't get stale and outdated.
Yes, I like that. But again, we've established that, Tarek, you and I have established that we're old, so we don't know what any of those new dances that them little kids do now anymore.
I can't tell you which celebration to do. I can just tell you that I've been seeing the gritty since couple basketball seasons ago when Ja Morant was doing it. So I think it's time to find something else at this point.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
Because
Well,
Tom, all we could tell him is, he can just lean back and lean back, lean back. That's
and that might be nice. Honestly, bring that stuff back. People will be like, "What's that?" But yeah, no, you should do the squabble. Like that. It needs to be brought to the Premier League, to just football in general. Somebody swaggy needs to do it before it ends up being some dork like Pulisic or Gavi or some shit like that. Yeah. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang. We making art over here, baby. Capitalize that A.